Hello, Olentangy. This is Superintendent Todd Meyer. We have updated our elementary attendance boundaries twice over the last 2 years. In 2021, with the opening of Shale Meadows, our 16th elementary school, and in 2022, to reduce overcrowding at numerous elementary schools across the district. As we grow and open new schools to accommodate that growth, we must adjust our attendance boundaries. As superintendent, 2 critical responsibilities I have are to assign staff and to assign students to schools. Assigning students involves examining our current attendance boundaries and following the Board of Education's redistricting guidelines. A superintendent's committee of 14 community members has done a deep dive into our attendance boundaries, building utilization, feeder patterns, and projected enrollment growth. They met monthly since July, held 2 community forums, and analyzed feedback from 145 community members. Thank you to those community members who provided feedback through the committee's survey. Ultimately, after analyzing the feedback, the committee presented me with a recommendation following the redistricting guidelines that revises attendance boundaries to relieve overcrowding at Cheshire Elementary and Arrowhead Elementary, 2 buildings that are far exceeding student enrollment capacity. I cannot thank this committee of volunteers enough for dedicating their time to this important task. This redistricting decision impacts a small sector of our district that has the most immediate need for overcrowding relief. Cheshire Elementary School is 133% over capacity and currently has students learning in 6 modular classrooms. Even with the modular addition, we are still overflowing students out of Cheshire Elementary and Arrowhead Elementary because of the significant growth in this area. That being said, there are other elementary schools across the district that are also overflowing new students to other schools due to our continued enrollment growth. 12 of our 16 elementary schools are above 100% capacity, and the other 4 elementary schools are at 90% or higher capacity. Ideal utilization is 80 to 85%, allowing for specialized instruction, collaboration space, and more. Our goal is to avoid significant movement of elementary students at this time, knowing that there is a greater, very immediate need for more Olentangy elementary school buildings to address this growth. Being part of our One Olentangy family means we are all part of this outstanding district, and no matter what school your child attends, they will receive a great education. Our goal in every redistricting process is to position the district well for subsequent redistricting decisions as we continue to grow. I'm now going to turn it over to Karen Jackson from Wolpert to outline the adjusted elementary attendance boundaries effective for the 2024-2025 school year.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer. As mentioned, my name is Karen Jackson, and I will be taking you through the specifics of the 2024-25 Olentangy Schools Boundaries recommendation. This slide shows our current 2023-24 boundaries and the associated data. The capacity of the elementary schools, or the number of students that each building can hold, does not include the spaces that are dedicated for pre-K students. Along with this, the enrollment values do not include pre-K enrollment. The enrollment values are based on enrollment information from November 2023. District-wide, the elementary schools are currently utilized at 104%. This will drop down to 98% with the addition of Peachblow Crossing Elementary. The middle schools are currently utilized at 103%, and the high schools are utilized at 101%. The feeder tables to the right of the utilization table details the existing feeder patterns from elementary to middle and middle to high. The left-hand column shows the lower level school that will feed into the higher level school. For example, if you look at Alum Creek in the elementary to middle feeder chart, you can see that 29% of students from Alum Creek will move on to Berkshire for middle school, and 71% of students from Alum Creek will move on to Shanahan for middle school. Peachblow Crossing Elementary is located at the intersection of Peachblow and Piatt Roads in Berlin Township. This slide shows the map and metrics for our 2024-25 recommended boundary plan. The Peachblow Crossing boundary can be seen in a darker shade of purple. On the north side, the only changes made were to move students into the new school. As you can see in the metrics on the left, Peachblow Crossing Elementary relieves Arrowhead and Cheshire. There are no changes to the middle school or high school boundaries on the north side. There is also a small change on the south side. This moves the Point at Polaris 2 into Alum Creek and Berkshire in order to allow the same apartment complex to attend the same schools. We also have the feeder patterns associated with our recommendation. Peachblow Crossing Elementary will feed 100% into Berlin Middle and Berlin High School. The recommended boundaries move 573 K through 5th grade students, which is 479 K through 4th grade students moved when considering the 5th graders will be moving into the middle schools regardless of the boundary plan. The plan also moves 3 middle school students with our south side change, 2 of which are currently 8th graders and will be moving on to Orange High School next year when these boundaries go into effect. One of the committee's goals in this process is to avoid moving students more than once at any given level, elementary, middle, or high. In order to accomplish this goal, the committee agreed that at this time, it makes sense to move fewer students in anticipation of future processes. In a few slides, I will be sharing utilization projections as well as housing development information within each boundary. If new schools do not become available, overutilization of schools will be widespread, Arrowhead and Cheshire included, in just a few years due to the housing developments currently pointed at them. The committee recognizes the difficulty that changing schools can bring, and in order to minimize this on any given child, they purposefully avoided changing boundaries beyond filling Peachblow Crossing and making a neighborhood continuity adjustment on the south side. With the ballot issue, the committee did not want to make a change now that could lead to an additional change next school year, causing an unnecessary hardship on any given student. We will have more information next year and will be better able to make an informed decision at that point. This map shows the area north of Cheshire Road that is moving into the Peachblow Crossing boundary from the Cheshire Elementary boundary. This area will remain in the Berlin Middle and Berlin High School boundaries. The neighborhoods moved include Glen Ross North, the Reserve at Glen Ross North, and Glen Ross North Phases 5 and 6, a development. This map shows the area south of Cheshire Road that is moving into the Peachblow Crossing boundary from the Arrowhead Elementary boundary. This area will remain in the Berlin Middle and Berlin High School boundaries. The neighborhoods moved include the Enclave at Glen Ross, the Landings at Glen Ross, the Communities at Glen Ross, Ross Estates, a development, and Pulte Homes Glen Ross, another development. And this map shows the small area near Polaris that is moving into the Alum Creek and Berkshire boundaries from the Freedom Trail and Orange Middle boundaries. This area will remain in the Orange High School attendance zone. The neighborhood moved is the Point at Polaris 2 apartment complex. This move allows the same apartment complex to attend the same schools, kindergarten through 12th grade. The table on this slide details the projected enrollment for each school boundary over the next few years should every boundary remain the same, and illustrates the current number of housing units and number of units approved to be developed within each boundary. The utilization percentages show the projected enrollment divided by the capacity of each school, and any shade of red indicates overutilization within the building. Should nothing change over the next 6 years, 20 of the 27 schools will be overutilized, 10 of which will be over 110% utilized. On the right side of the chart, we have our existing and developing housing unit counts. Green shows single-family units, with the total existing units on the left and the total developing units on the right by boundary. And pink shows multifamily units, which includes apartments, condominiums, and townhomes. Again, the total existing multifamily units are on the left and the total developing multifamily units are on the right. We also show the total acreage of vacant developable land within each boundary. At this point in time, the Olentangy Local School District is almost 78% built out, based on the identified vacant land within the district that could be developed into housing. This 78% value is assuming that all planned developments are completed. Please keep in mind that any land that is rezoned to residential would cause a change in the developable land left within the district. These maps show the utilizations of each school, by boundary, over the next 5 years, should no new schools become available and no boundary adjustments be made. Each column contains an elementary, middle, and high school boundary map for that school year, with each boundary shaded to represent the utilization of that school. The utilization is the enrollment of a school divided by its capacity. The blue shows schools utilized under 80%, green shows utilizations between 80 and 90%, and yellow shows schools that are approaching overutilization, between 90 and 100% utilized. Both shades of red show schools that are overutilized. The light red shows schools that are between 100 and 110% utilized, and the dark red shows schools that are greater than 110% utilized. It is important to note that the ideal utilization for schools is anywhere between 80 and 85%. This ideal utilization allows for flexibility for circumstances such as especially large cohorts of students, pull-out resource spaces for students to get one-on-one attention, and special education classes. As you can see, Olentangy is projected to continue to experience enrollment growth. Thank you for your time.